Good morning. Welcome to the wake up call. How is everyone feeling out of 10?
Out of 10. Hey, any day that I can wake up and eat tacos is a 10 out of 10 for me.
Taco Tuesday is an 11 out of 10. First of all,
Fish tacos. Don't knock them till you rock them. I'm telling you. But all right.
So welcome. It is myself and Alex. We go over the crypto news and analysis and our weird takes, and we'll start off the weird takes with Alex.
All right, super weird take. Hey, here we are in the same place that we were in March and in April when it was over. You know, it was over.
Pack it up, boys.
I mean, hey, listen, I'll do some self-criticism here. I had my day circled on the calendar that was supposed to be the bottom, and then we kept on going lower for 5 days, and I had a rough 5 days. But what I did back then is what I'm doing now, which is I have drawn 2 lines in the sand with Bitcoin. We lose one level. I am of the mindset that it's going to be not over until 2028. I've shared my perspective of the 4-year cycle not quite being a thing, that it has some effect, but not as much as people give it credit for. So the bottom line, and then there's an upper line as well. We break through that and it'll be game on. And so let me share what that was in April and in March, April, May. Bottom line was the 50-week moving average, the green line, for those watching on a different platform where 2 people who look like us are live right now. The green line is the 50-week simple moving average, and we hold that as support in bull markets. And when we lose the 50-week moving average on a weekly close, that is not a good sign. That's not a good sign. Okay, so 50-week moving average, we held that during the really scary 6 hours in August of 2024, where Bitcoin went under $50,000. It wicked below there. We held that in September. That September, wake me up when September ends. We held that in April, that April 7th bottom, we wicked below, and oh no, it's over. But no, we didn't have a weekly close below the 50-week moving average. We haven't, even though, like, I would say right now is scarier in some ways, because of the fact that so many people are married to this idea. It has to happen this quarter. We have not had an interaction with the 50-week moving average yet. Okay, interesting. So that's my line in the sand, and it's not really all that much lower than where we are now. So could we get to 102,000 and change, 102.5? Maybe. Or could it be that we chop for a few weeks and then the 50-week moving average will rise and then we would get to 102.5? And maybe we don't even touch it this time. I'm not even saying that we're going to get there. So that's one. What?
Sorry, what's the other? I cut you off there. What is the yellow one for you?
That's the 200-day moving average, okay, which is another very important one. And right now we're just holding that. But yeah, that's been huge. Just holding the 200-day. That's why it's so much darker than the other ones. That's why I pay a lot of attention to it. And we've been holding that on weekly closes. Daily candles, we've closed below there. But okay, so what's the upper line in the sand? Well, let's go back to April and May. And you can see, actually, if we were to zoom in on this on the daily, you would see a lot of resistance here. And all right, now I have to, where are we? Okay.
Where are you?
Oh, there we go. So you can see we got up to a certain level. And if you were to look at funding at this time, the 618 retrace, and then the middle of golden pocket, 702, if you were to look at funding, you would see that actually people were pretty heavy shorting Bitcoin. When we got up to, what was that, 96,000, 97,000. They were expecting a lower high and a move down. And so really heavy shorting, it took us 2 weeks to break through. But then when we broke through, it was clear. All right, the line in the sand has crossed, and now we're off to the races, and we're going to hit a new all-time high. So that is my perspective right now. Is let me go to a different chart that already has this laid out. 2 lines in the sand, the 50-week moving average. I already talked about that, and then you can see where I have circled for Bitcoin. The same area, and I do expect us no matter what to get here. But the same area, the 618 retrace is 107.5. The 702 is 119.5. We get up here, it's probably going to take a bit of a battle to break through. If we break through, then we are rallying to new all-time highs, and I will have very little doubt in my mind. So for me, I'm just kind of sitting on my hands waiting. I have certain positions opened, and maybe I'll de-risk a little there, but I do expect Bitcoin to go higher, and I don't care about the time. I want you to hear that from me, those of you who it must happen in the fourth quarter. I don't care if this happens today, tomorrow, November, December, March. I don't think it's going to take that long, but that's where I stand with Bitcoin right now.
The beatings will continue until morale is improved.
What are you quoting?
I don't know. I say that all the time, though. It's from something. I don't know what it's from, but I say
right.
We used to say that in the Army all the time.
Okay.
It's
all
like
right.
We'd just be working until 7 o'clock in the afternoon or something like that, and we'd be like, I want to go home, and we'd be like, we are home. So I always said that in the Army, and then I say that about the market too when it's just in this turmoil. All right, I guess, is it my turn or did I cut you off again?
I'm that's all I'm really focused on right now. So
that's all, folks. Okay, so let me give you guys my thoughts on the markets. First of all, I'll just start with Bitcoin because I pretty much have a similar line in the sand for Bitcoin. And I've already talked about, I've shared what would make me bearish would be going to that 115, 116, a rejection, and then making a lower low. That would make me bearish. But for me right now, though, he mentioned the 200-day, also the 200 EMA. We have been holding as support beautifully for the past 2 weeks. And somebody in the comments kept saying the Russell hit the all-time high, the Russell 2000. It certainly has hit an all-time high. This is a big deal. We're continuing to follow this almost flawlessly, this fractal that we talked about last week. This still is a big deal. If we can continue to get up in here into the 2550, that's going to really start to wake things up, because at that point it's an undeniable breakout at that point where you could still make the case that this is just a grueling higher high or whatever. But when we get into that range, it's really going to be that to me is when things really are going to start to heat up. But as long as Bitcoin continues to hold this 200 EMA, to me, this is a very, very big level. And I expect a minimum retrace to the 0.5 Fibonacci retracement, probably getting as high as the 702. And I'm with Alex. If we break above that, I think we're going to get a new all-time high. I don't think it's going to be that long, actually. I think there's going to be a battle at the retrace. And I think once we break above it, we're going to go to an all-time high relatively soon after that. But the big battle is going to be getting above the retrace. The thing that I really like with Bitcoin is, $20 billion was liquidated, and all that we've done is just fill out that wick, which I think is a really healthy thing to do. And then we've been kind of grueling our way up, holding the 200 ever since then. To me, I like that structure. Also, if you look at it more sort of objectively or subjectively, is you take away all of the moving averages, you take away the Fibonacci's, and what do we see that I really like as well is you had your parabolic rise, distribution, markdown, accumulation, and then you go into a breakout, higher high, and then you basically just perfectly nail the prior all-time high. So it's like a perfect breakout back test of the prior range, and there's a decent bit of support for Bitcoin at the 100, or not a decent bit. There's a lot of support for Bitcoin around that $100,000 mark. So I'm with you. Can we fill out 102, 103? Sure. But to me, I've already put it out. I think I put it out on the 10th or the 11th that I think that the 28-day low is already in for Bitcoin. We'll see if that holds. We'll see come November 10th if we're still above 103 at all times.
Yeah.
But I think that, what do we wake to? 103 even? Like, I think that that's going to hold for the next at least 28 days. And I think we're more likely to get a retrace than to make a new low. And I just like to think about it practically. Someone in my chat last night, and I'm not picking on them because they're just kind of the microcosm of everyone, and they just happen to be lucky number 11, who I'm like, okay, let's really think about this. Let's really put a mirror on it. And they're like, 100K is next. And I'm just like, okay, that's fine. Let's live in this land. Let's play this out, and let's really think through this practically. If $20 billion being liquidated could not get us below 100K, what is it going to take? There is not another 100K. You know what I mean? Like, I've been seeing this graphic floating around Twitter. Let me just get a different window here. I've been seeing this graphic float around Twitter. It's like, guess what? There's not $20 billion of liquidity to grab. Why are the market makers going to spend billions and billions of dollars to grab millions of dollars? They're not. Like, that doesn't exist. And then lastly, the thing that, has really been stealing our lunch money, so to speak, is just the gold. And to me, that last week we talked about it. I sold 40% of my gold. I've been actively shorting gold. And here is another little breakdown that we can see from, when gold goes up, Bitcoin is either grueling or it is going down. When gold goes down, we can see Bitcoin goes up. And they have a very much inverse relation to one another. Gold is going up, Bitcoin is going down. Gold is chopping, Bitcoin is ripping. And at this point, gold has been ripping and Bitcoin has been going down. But to me, gold is the most oversold that I have ever seen it on any chart of any chart. I've never seen this many confluences of being oversold that I am right now. So
I want to interject something, or not. I mean, this is in complete agreement with you. So gold on average, every time that it's gotten into extreme oversold territory, RSI above 85, on average, it has dropped, I want to say 23% over the next 147 days. That's on average every time in the last 50 years. So that would be my expectation.
Let me just
for gold. But then I'm going to be buying that dip big time, let me tell you.
Yeah, so I sold 40% of my gold. I don't expect gold to make this like pin top, blow off top. It could though, because it's so overbought. Like, I've never seen gold this overbought before. Literally on the monthly chart, it is the most overbought that we've been.
Last time was 1973.
Yeah, so it has never been this overbought. So I'm not expecting a pin blow off top back test to 3,300. I'm more expecting something like this, kind of a grueling down. But we could certainly do it because of how like banana land overbought that this is. But either way, either one of these scenarios is going to be good. And a lot of the pain that and suffering that we've been feeling in the crypto market is because gold has been stealing our lunch money. But that, ship to me, that's it. Like the gold top is already in my opinion, relatively. Like I tweeted it out October 16th. We have not been higher for a single second. Not for a second have we been higher. So we'll see if that remains to be true. I'm not like, I don't seek out to be like, nana boo boo, stick your face in doo doo. Yeah. But if I can do that, I will. The last thing I'll say too is like, for Bitcoin, so we talked about the Russell, we talked about Bitcoin. For Bitcoin specifically, this reminds me so much of the 2024 2024 in this October timeframe when it was just the most like demoralizing, like truly, utterly, the beatings
Yeah.
will continue until morale is improved. That is what all of this was like, because you had, we were just in the dumps. Back at 25K, we break out to a new all-time high, 74K. Everyone's hopes were so high. It's like, we did it, guys. We broke out, new all-time high, high fives all around, only to get the rug pulled back to 60K, demoralizing. And then we go back up to 73K. We're so hopeful. Are we going to break out this time? I can't wait. My Lamborghini is going to be pink. Is yours going to be yellow? I don't know. Only to get the rug pulled out back to 56K. And we were just in this washing machine of hope, demoralization, hope, demoralization. And the peak of that demoralization was back at 49K with the Japan rate cuts. So much so that when we actually did reverse and start putting in higher highs and higher lows, nobody believed it until we were already at like 100K. Like, nobody believed this rally until it was mostly already over, because it was just so demoralizing. Now, this isn't perfect, but the feeling reminds me the same. And so I pulled a fractal over here. It's not, like I said, it's not the most perfect thing, but it's pretty damn good. And we even had this big liquidation here that you could say was kind of the same. So, I'm not saying that this is exactly what we're doing, but this is pretty close. Especially to the vibes. Like, the vibes check to me is there, as far as like people are demoralized. People are not having a good time. Like, I am just straight up not having a good time, bro. A lot of people got liquidated, and that sucks. And we've been chilling. This is one thing I said too, is like, we've been chilling in the 20s on the fear and greed, and that is not how bear markets start. They do not start being at 22 or at 27 or even at 30. That's not how they start. I've laid out my outlines of like, this is what's going to flip me bearish. What was it, 2 weeks ago when we were at 126K? I was like, we're at the top of the range, and I'm cautious here. I expect this to come down. I didn't expect a 20K candle or anything like that by any stretch of the imagination. But for those saying that, I'm a perma bull, Alex is my witness. 2 weeks ago, I was not bullish at the at the top of the range. And I just think that we're at the bottom of the range now, and people are just freaking out. And that's, we're in the washing machine. Like, welcome to hell, kids. This is this is where we're gonna be. The beatings will continue. So there you go. That's my thoughts on the market overall. I'm more bullish than I am bearish. I do think Bitcoin makes another all-time high. I do think the Russell is going to continue to go into all-time highs. I do think gold is going to continue to rotate into the Russell, into Bitcoin, and I do think that Bitcoin is going to find the 200 as support. The Solana is on the 200. The Total 3 is on the 200. Like, everything's at the 200 at the same time. And I just think they're going to find at least a dead cat bounce to the 618.5, 702, somewhere in that range. And then we can reevaluate. Like, are we showing signs of being bearish? Are we showing signs of being bullish? We can reevaluate from there. To me, the line in the sand, though, is if we get a dead cat bounce and then put in a lower low, I would then flip bearish. But until then, like, I will remain bullish, especially the more towards the bottom of this range that we are, the more bullish I'm going to be.
All right. I want to respond to somebody who said you need to chart Bitcoin with gold, not USD. And my answer to you, Mr. Cuz, is why not both? Because we do both, and we've shown both. But most of the people are paying attention to Bitcoin USD chart. So that's what we talk about. But if you could switch to my screen, I just want to show my absolute worst case perspective with Bitcoin versus gold. And that is Bitcoin going higher versus gold. I mean, we've already talked about gold topping. So sure, you want to make an argument that Bitcoin could just be flat and gold could go down and Bitcoin will go higher than gold. But absolute worst case scenario would be, this isn't even a trend line. You need at least 3 touches to a trend line. But I'm curious to see what happens with Bitcoin versus gold when Bitcoin gets up to a trend line of sorts. But my expectation is actually more something along the lines of a move up here, which no matter what happens with gold, even if gold just continued to go down, 3,500, even 3,000, a move up to there. I'm sorry, you can't see that on TikTok, is a new all-time high for Bitcoin. And there's no doubt about that. So, FYI, yes, we are paying attention to Bitcoin and gold.
Oh, the only thing I'm paying attention to is Bitcoin and gold.
Yeah.
Every day when I wake up, I am charting gold, I am charting Bitcoin, and that is like 70% of the analysis that I'm doing. What is gold doing? What is Bitcoin doing? What are they doing in relation to each other? And like, here's the deal. Guess what? Gold might not pin top, but best case scenario for gold, it's going to do a long distribution.
Yeah.
That's best case scenario. But this is literally the most overbought I've ever seen gold in my life. In my entire existence on this earth, this is the most overbought I have seen gold.
I mean, it's the most overbought gold has been in your life and in mine.
Yeah. So on every time frame, like that was the craziest thing to me. Like I was doing a live stream by myself and we're looking at, this is the day when I was like, okay, that's it. Like that is it. Ding, 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 ding. Sound the alarm. The spidey senses are tingling. Literally, I looked at gold from the 1 minute chart, 3 minute chart, 5 minute chart, all the way down to the 1 month chart. And every single one of them were overbought. And I've never seen that on any chart ever. Have you ever seen that, Alex? Because I have not.
No.
And so that was the day I was like, okay, like I had a plan to sell my gold. I was thinking about selling it. When I saw that was the straw that broke the camel's back for me. And I was like, okay, I'm selling gold. I went and sold 40% of my gold and I started shorting gold on BitUnix and have done very well with that. So.
All right.
Overbought, or maybe showing how much dollar. Yeah, that's what it is for sure. It's lost its value, but this is, you want to see what euphoria looks like. Is people literally standing outside of the bullion shops, standing outside of the bullion shops. That is, you might say, okay, yeah, it's lost value compared to the dollar. Fine, I'll buy that for $1. I will buy it for $2. I will buy it for $10. I'll buy it for $1,000. But what you must also say is undoubtedly, unequivocally, this is what euphoria looks like. So let me pull my screen up here. This is what euphoria looks like. There is no question about it. There's not a doubt in my mind. If this were Coinbase, I would be telling you to sell. But this is what it looked like October 16th, 2025. This is peak euphoria. If we could measure this and quantify this to how popular Coinbase is or how popular Robinhood is, I would be telling you it's time to sell. This is what euphoria looks like. And listen, I don't have a massive following on Instagram. I think I have like 8,000 followers or whatever. I posted on my story that I was selling 40% of my gold, and literally like 7 or 8 people messaged me why. Because everybody in my chat at the time was like, I'm buying gold, I'm buying gold, I'm buying gold.
Oh man.
Gold is rotating into Bitcoin.
It's always going to be like that. I'm just kind of like, I'm frustrated hearing that, because it's like, why? Like you need to be doing the exact opposite of that. And I just feel like it's the same thing over and over again with everything. Something gets really hot, the masses move into it, and I'm resigned to the fact that the masses are just never going to be on the right side of euphoria when it's clear. It's like clear.
Listen,
no, don't buy.
I'm pumped about it because my brain is either fixed or broken. I'm not sure. but I am able to recognize this, and I'm pumped because of it. Because guess what? I have never seen the masses be correct about anything. Anything.
Yeah.
I agree. Got wrecked to the point taking a break. That's what you should do when you get wrecked trading. You should take a break for sure.
Yeah. I mean, it only took me one time to learn my lesson with that, and that was 2011 with silver when it went to $50 an ounce. You couldn't convince me otherwise. I was convinced it was going to go to $200, $1,000 an ounce, but I bought the peak.
What's up, Dream Team? What up, Alvarez?
Alex hates talking about gold because he sold early. Foregone. What?
I sold early too. I sold it.
I mean, I don't regret selling my gold. I made gains. I sold when my wife and I were sitting in bed, and she brought up that we need to buy gold. And I was like, top signal. And it was a top for several months. I could have easily bought back in, but I didn't. I'll buy back in when gold. I have no problem doing this either. I'll buy back in when gold goes down to the price that I sold it at. That's perfectly fine with me because it makes sense to buy $3,500 gold after it went up to $4,400. It doesn't make sense to buy gold the first time ever it's at $3,500.
For the record, too, when it was at $3,300, I sold 30% of my gold, and I made a driveway on my farm that was a half mile long.
Man.
So that was expensive. Gravel is expensive, ladies and gentlemen. I can assure you that. But like, did we go higher for months and months and months and months? Like, it took forever. Let's see. Realistically, that was the top on gold when that happened. My light just went out. We went to what, 3,400? So, and then we chopped here for, this is what a top looks like for gold. Gold isn't a meme coin. It's not gonna, it's not gonna just like, oh, see you, pack it up, boys. See you in 4 years, 90 days. It just chopped there before breaking higher. And then guess what? We got to 43.70 or whatever it was. I sold it at, I sold another 40%. So I'm 70% out of gold at this point.
Yeah. What about silver? Same deal. I mean, I'll be buying plenty of silver. I did not sell any of my silver.
I haven't sold silver yet, but I'm considering it as well.
Yeah.
I have a bigger target for silver. I do think that we can get into the 70s. However, no, I was just about to say that could take a decade to play out.
All right.
And then also the fact that we got rejected here off of this, 50, what is this, like 50-year all-time high, or showing signs of being rejected. It's not even showing me the daggone chart, man. Do I need to get a different one? I think so. Where's the other one? I got the wrong chart here. Whatever. We'll just do this. I thought this. Oh, this is crypto. That's why. So yeah, like the fact that we just kind of are at this same spot, 3 points of rejection here. It would not be weird to get rejected and come back and find support, even, all the way 35 would be like worst case scenario. I could see us going, like I said, I have a targets in the 70s. But this is a critical level when you factor that in. So this isn't like $50 is a massive level for silver. If we break above it cleanly, we could go to 70 kind of quickly. But I mean, literally, we were at $50, what, like 1979, with the same time that gold was the most overbought that it's been. So yeah, like this is just a critical level here that you could easily get a rejection off the top. So I'm very much considering selling some of my silver too. I think my average price for silver is like $20 or something like that. Like I'm sitting on a 2x. It's like if you have a 2x, take profit.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so sure. I mean, we're going to talk about this gold, silver, and then gold and silver miners. I did very well with my miners this year, and I think after a consolidation or a move down with the metals, that the miners are going to explode.
Yeah. By the way, like, you want to know how euphoric gold and silver is? How many questions do we get about gold and silver
I mean,
before, like, last month?
yeah, and even we would have never gotten questions. Even like, I mean, in 2021, the mindset towards gold among crypto people was just like, shiny hunk of metal. I hate it. I'll never touch it. And there's certainly been a softening. Shut up, Webb. Man, you drive me crazy.
Why is there only 90 people in this chat? This is what
Because of crypto.
This is what the bottom looks like. But when you see 900 people, run. When you see 900 people in the chat, it's time to run. But yeah, that's it. Like, I've been noticing my live views are down. I'm grateful.
Yeah, good.
Yeah,
I mean, I'll take 1,000 in the live stream for sure.
Yeah, I'm not gonna cry. Yeah, I'm not gonna cry about it. But this is why I call you. Like, this is why my community is called the Savages, because it's like I get to see in real time who is really about it in the beast, the belly of the whale, in the darkness of the cave, in the in the realest times. I get to see in real time, like, who is really here when rubber meets the road. And that to me is like, if you're still here when everyone else has capitulated and you couldn't get shaken by $20 billion, you couldn't get shaken by FTX going to zero, you couldn't get shaken by Silicon Valley Bank going to zero, or the war in Israel, or World War III rumors, or, oh my God, Trump is tweeting, someone take the phone from grandpa, please. And you're still here. You are a savage in my book, and you are the future 1%, because this game is a game of patience, and the game is the transfer of wealth from the hands of the impatient to the patient. And if that don't get you hype, I don't know if you got blood pumping in your veins. He said 900 people. I'm definitely so, bro. You and me both.
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna be grateful. I'll be talking about exit strategies. I'll tell you that much. Your exit strategies, get the hell out. Because that's what it'll look like. You see the people lining up. That's 900 people in my chat is this right here.
Yeah, seriously. I see a comment, can you look at Zcash? And I mean, I look at Zcash, and it's that you might as well just show that gold picture. I mean, why would you buy Zcash? Sure, it can go a little higher, but no.
We might be savages, but we're down 50% or more. Well, what is the price to volatility? Everyone wants 5x's, but what's the price of that? Ski, do you think the bull run will end in 2025? The bull run will end when it ends. Time is not real for Bitcoin. I have no clue.
Sorry, go ahead.
Time is only real for us. The bull run will end when I have 900 viewers in my chat.
Yeah. I mean, I do not think, and I've never thought that the peak was going to be in 2025. Like for multiple years now, I have not thought that. I am. The only thing that makes me nervous is the fact that so many people think that. And so let's say, well, I mean, for Bitcoin, the peak, let's say 126 was the peak for 2025. So, hey, we peaked in Q4, but I think that I fear that a lot of people that we're going to have to deal with for a short period of time, a lot of people just exiting and being like, well, it was supposed to happen in Q4 2025. I guess I'll just sell now.
Pack it up, boys.
Yeah. And so what's the time frame for that? Maybe it would go into the first couple months of 2026 and people will be like, yep, bear market. And then, they'll be waiting. They'll be on the sidelines waiting to buy a 75% drop in Bitcoin. That's never going to come.
Yeah.
And then they'll be sitting on the sidelines, just really angry.
I still I don't think this is my base case, but I think there's a realistic possibility that we have multiple, short little bear markets, like we had in April. And we just overall, like when you zoom out and look on the weekly chart or whatever, we're just going to see this rocketing into September of 2028. And then it is the big one after that. Like I still think that that's a realistic possibility that we just kind of march our way along into the roaring 20s.
That sounds good to me.
Go ahead.
I see a much clearer path for that for the stock market than I do for crypto, just because of what people are accustomed to with crypto. Huh. Someone named the white whale. The white whale. That would be pretty cool if it was the white whale who commented on X.
I don't know. Could be. I know there's a couple white whales following me, so I don't know.
Okay.
I know the real white whale is following me. I don't know if that's the real one or not. He will never message you if it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think the 7 year cycle is way bigger to me. Like we have 100 years of data on that.
Yeah, I think it is actually like the white whale. Yep. What's up? Hello, the white whale. I'm calling you. So
yeah, that's the 7 year cycle is always for me been a bigger thing than the 4 year cycle. And maybe again, not necessarily my base case, but maybe with the institutions really getting involved, I could make the case that Bitcoin behaves very much like stocks from this point. And maybe the millions of altcoins don't behave that way, but I think that Bitcoin, you almost have to put it in a different category than everything else.
So, I mean, like that's kind of my frame of thought right now is that, Bitcoin, ETFs, all that stuff, institutional adoption, whatever, that we're actually, I wouldn't be surprised if it just did a 20% return in 2026, but then, what about the altcoins? Because I know a large majority of you own much more in altcoins than you do for Bitcoin. Well, I mean, it's the same thing I've been preaching about liquidity, about the business cycle, about rates not being at 5%, but actually being in the same conditions they were in 2021, which was, we're not going down to zero with interest rates, but lower than where they are right now. And that would be the environment where the stars would align and altcoins would thrive. For that, there is no crystal ball. I mean, it could be soon, it could be later. It could be a combination of a lot of things. So we'll see.
What's your take on NFT? You and any projects? My general take on NFTs are, so I'll give you my general take on NFTs, and then I'll talk about more specifically. But my general take is the idea is ahead of the technology. But what is a NFT to me is not a picture of a monkey. What an NFT will become, and is slowly, surely, exponentially becoming, is digital ownership, the true ethos of the blockchain. So to me, in the future, an NFT, the technology, and I don't know that this is necessarily an investment, so to speak, but the technology is My season tickets to the Browns. It's my airline ticket. It's the artist releases music and he gets royalties from the plays from the NFT, and integrating the ownership into the blockchain so that things, or maybe it's my video, maybe it's my YouTube channel, maybe it's like a Patreon exclusive video, and I have ownership. To me, that is the future of NFTs, but the biggest hurdle to overcome with that is making it to where, and the biggest hurdle for crypto too, is like it needs to be to where your grandmother can just do it. Like
Yeah.
when your mom, your grandma can just do it, and it is just as simple as downloading an app on her phone. That is when we're going to get, bigger mainstream adoption. And to me, that is what an NFT could be. It could be the title to your house. It could be the deed or the title to your car, the deed to your house. It could be your birth certificate. It could be, your wedding certificate. It's digital ownership, um, um, verified by the blockchain. And I think there's big opportunities there, but I also think that the idea is ahead of the technology at this point, or at least the um adoption, I guess. But as far as buying and flipping pictures of monkeys, not really my thing.
Yeah. I mean, there's something. I mean, even during, I mean, we've talked about this, Devin, like NFTs that existed in 2021 under the proper conditions of euphoria can likely do some ridiculous gains from where they are right now. Some kind of retrace in their market cap or something. So
My thoughts on XRP. Somebody keeps asking me my thoughts on XRP. Thoughts on XRP. I have no interest in accumulating XRP here. I have no interest in selling XRP here. My average price on XRP is about 30 cents. So that is the context of who you're asking me. My average price is about 30 cents on XRP, and I have already taken 40% profit at $3.33. So that is the proper context of when you're asking me. So to me, I don't have any interest in selling any more XRP because I've already done what I needed to do. And I don't have any interest in accumulating more XRP because my price is so much lower than it is now. So for me, the price that I'm interested in accumulating XRP again is near $1, maybe $1.38, maybe $1. Maybe we fill out that giant wick liquidation that happened. That's where I'm interested in adding maybe to my spot bag of XRP. And as far as de-risking XRP, I think that we need to get back to 280 to kind of flip us bullish, because this, you can make an argument that we're in distribution. You can make an argument that we're in reaccumulation. I think have some merit to it. But if you're rooting for the reaccumulation, then what you need to see is XRP getting back above what was support, and not just classify this purely as a spring over here. And that's about 280, and getting above the 200 EMA, and then getting back into this range here and holding it, which is going to be around that $2.80 mark. That would flip you back bullish. So to put a cherry on it, I am neutral on XRP. If we can get back in the 280s, I expect my bull market targets to hit, which are $5 and $8, I think are the highest probability. If we want to go to banana land zone, we could go to $12, but I think that $5 is more probable.
all right, I have nothing to add to that. I mean, aside from, all right, XRP is back in a zone that it was reaccumulating in for what, 9 months before it broke out. So I wouldn't be surprised if it hung around, like if worst case, it hung around here for a while where it's at right now.
And that's what XRP does too. It's like the king
Yeah.
of it's the king or the queen of boring, boring, boring until it's
Yep.
not. So just you talk about like everyone wants a bull market, everyone wants a bear market. It's team bull, team bear. No one is team crab, and 90% of the market is team crab, and I think that that's even more exhausting to a lot of people than even being a full-on bull market is being in a crab, just perpetual washing of just ranging, like do something already. And I think people hate that more than anything, and
Yeah,
XRP is the king of that.
it's just a nonstop feeling of like feeling you're gonna fall off a cliff during the crab times. I mean that's what the end of, or sorry, the April to July of 2021 or 2024, April to September really. So
I'm team crab, team accumulate. That's right. Buy the boring.
yeah, I'm seeing some comments about things that Alvarez have said. I'd like to. So Alvarez dropped a good video on US dropping rates 50 basis points. That would be wild. I don't think that's going to happen. And mostly I just base it off the CME FedWatch tool. And they're giving a 96% chance that they're going to lower by 25 basis points and like a 3% chance that they're going to keep it the same. So that would definitely be a shock to the system. That would cause some kind of pop. The big thing that I'm paying attention to next week is if they're officially going to end QT, which Jerome Powell has hinted at, which I think is that could be pretty bullish. So I'm eager to see what happens next week with that. And then there was something about Alvarez saying that maybe he made in a video that the S&P has triggered at a point that we're going to have a blow off top now, which cool. I don't know. I haven't watched any of his videos lately, but like I am of the mindset, yeah, that we're going to have a 1999 scenario ahead of us in the stock market. But let's see.
The White Whale says, I have to personally apologize for ending the bull run. A few minutes ago, Ski said the bull run would end when he has 900 viewers on his live. I made the mistake of reposting the stream for our bags. I'm truly sorry. Well, I was referring to not Twitter or X. I was referring to TikTok.
Yeah.
TikTok. I have no idea of knowing actually how many viewers we have congruently on X. Other than people telling me, but on TikTok it tells you. And right now we're at 104, which is low for me. Like an average, like is probably like maybe 200. So if it gets, you start getting people that I've never seen, and mostly like what I'm seeing is like the people that have been here rocking with me for a while, the true savages.
Yeah.
Back to the Fed though, isn't so I'm not like, this isn't my area by any stretch of the imagination. But I heard that the plan is to cut 3 times in 2026. Is that true? Do you know?
I don't know. I don't pay attention to that because their plans change all the time. And I wouldn't be surprised if it was more than that. But, actually, thinking about the 90s, they didn't cut all that much throughout the 90s. And then we had, the dot-com boom and bust. So I'm not necessarily rooting for that they would cut more, honestly. We could have some pretty significant moves in the markets. If from their point of view, at least, things are healthy and
yeah.
And they don't, what causes them to cut? It's either inflation's down, which inflation is dripping, a little bit higher. I don't know why I said dripping, but then a weak labor force. If it's a weak labor force, that's gonna be some signs of weakness that we're gonna have to navigate through.
Yeah, from my perspective, it's not the cutting or the the hiking that's the big deal. As far as it's when we stable out is when we start to really get the moves in the market. So I'm rooting for them to do their cuts and then don't do anything for a while and let the market play.
Yeah.
Jody says, is there a place I can buy gold and silver and have it in my possession? Yes. to me, the best thing to do is just Google coin shop and go to your local coin shop and build a relationship with your guy or gal. That's what I do. I'm a big I like silver. I buy silver, I buy land, I buy Bitcoin, I buy gold, um, stocks, all of it. And I got to be honest, crypto is where all my bandwidth goes for sure. Like that is my area. But as far as like all the investments that I have, um, gold and silver are my favorite to buy because there's something I don't know. There's just something about having silver and just clanking it in your hands. There's some sort of dopamine that is coded in us from what is it? What's the theory where we're here to mine gold or something? It's
Oh,
like
I don't know.
it's programmed some Anunnaki or whatever. I don't know. I'm talking out of my ass. I have no idea. But
Yeah,
there's
Costco. Sorry.
Yeah.
Somebody commented Costco. I hear that. I don't have a Costco membership, but I hear you could buy gold and silver at Costco.
Yeah. That's from Win 5K Doge checks, right?
Never.
Have you heard the story that Trump is using the shutdown to get the Fed to reduce by 50 points next? I have no idea. Listen, predicting what Trump is going to do is like predicting what Alex is going to wear tomorrow. I have no clue, And I'm not going to listen. I understand that the orange man is affecting the market in many ways. I get that. I understand it. I'm not going to build my my investment thesis based around what the orange man may or may not do next week, because I don't know that anyone can predict that. And I don't think that that's a sustainable model. And if you do predict it once, I don't know that you're going to predict it twice. So there you go. I've tried to predict it and I have been wrecked by doing so. So that's my thoughts on that.
I forgot the question. So
have you heard the story? Trump is using the shutdown to get Fed to reduce?
Yeah. I don't think so. And yeah, I don't care. I've never, the CME Fed Watch tool, if you Google it, it's never been wrong in the years that I've watched it. So, it would be great is if they were wrong this time. I mean, I don't even want to say great, but that would certainly cause a pop in the markets if they introduce that shock. Because what we've done, we've priced in a 25 basis point rate cut. I don't know if we've priced in the end of QT. That's the really interesting thing. I'm looking to see what happens.
Yeah. The market is always right. That's the reason actually that I am against trading options short term.
I like selling options.
Just the which is different than trading them, like buying.
Oh yeah.
That is the reason I'm against that as a whole side tangent, because in order to be successful doing limits or puts in options, not only do you need to be correct, but you need to be more correct in the right time frame, more correct than the market is projecting. And guess what? Like the market is always correct. So it's a losing game. So that's why I like futures way more than options, like exponentially more. But I have got to run, Alex. Any closing thoughts?
I won't message you. Sorry, I was trying to think of something other to say than that.
Yeah, I will not message you. The white whale will not message you first. Crypto Alvarez is not going to message you first. William Watson, any of your favorite crypto creators, guess what? We are not messaging you. Those are scammers. Those are people from Pakistan, Kakistan, Afghanistan, Turkestan. It is not me. It is not a ski stand. They may look like me. They may say greetings. How's your trading going? Guess what? I have 471 missed text messages right now. I'm not getting back with my own people unless they're pinned to the top. So that's listen, we're not going to message you. For the love of God, don't get scammed. Make sure you're if you're interacting with any dApps, make sure it's the right website. There's so many. I just saw someone today had Solnic staking, but he had the wrong website. It's like that's not my website, bro. Somebody got wiped with a coin. What is it? What's the one? The tax one? There was some app on the App Store. There's no app for the coin tax thing. I forget.
Yeah, I know. I don't remember. Yeah.
So make sure if you're interacting with a dApp, anytime you connect your wallet to anything, just take 2 minutes and verify it's the right thing.
Yeah.
So just make sure it's the right thing. To go slow is smooth, smooth is fast. When you're interacting and messing with your money, there's no reason to sit here and do things. What's your hurry? What are you going to miss out on? Coinly, there you go. There's no app for Coinly. Okay. But all right, guys, that is going to be it for this time. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, follow us on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch. We will never message you first. Peace, love, prosperity, God first. God bless.